This holiday season, I really want to encourage people to learn more about how to speak effectively and strategically with their MAGA family members and friends. An example of what is most typical with people trying to argue the other out, persuade them with facts, with logic, calling them names. The emotional temperature is very high and it just polarizes. This is what I'm recommending people not do.
Alex, what's wrong with you? Can't you see that MAGA is a cult and Trump is a fascist? You've been brainwashed. Wake up. You're the one in the cult of woke. What's wrong with you that you can't see this? Trump is a liar. He's a pedophile and he's best friends with Epstein. The guy's only interested in making money for himself, and he doesn't care about America. Obama's the cult leader. You've been brainwashed by the neoliberals. You probably love that Mamdani won as mayor of New York City. He's a communist, a terrorist. This is insane. You used to be reasonable. Now you believe everything you hear online and still believe in Trump. If you're going to insult me and my beliefs, I'm done talking. Enjoy your woke narrative.
And next, what I recommend instead.
We used to be close. We could talk and share openly. You've just changed so much. And I apologize for losing my temper and calling you names. Can we please do a reboot? I would like us to be close again. What do you think? Yeah, you've been really mean and condescending. You think you know everything? It's insulting. I apologize, please. I love you and I want to start a new chapter. What can I say now that'll help you believe that I'm sincere? I don't know, but I love you too. How can we be close when we're miles apart in our beliefs? I've been learning about active listening. It requires really putting all your attention on what the other person is saying without judgment or thinking of what to say back. Then the listener repeats back what they heard to make sure the person knows you were really listening. Yeah, then what? Why do you think this would work? Because the idea is to put yourself into the other person's shoes, to understand them and how they came to believe what they believe. Well, I guess I'm willing to try it. Great. The idea is that we reciprocate, back and forth. I really listen to you and you really listen to me with respect and patience. We'll stop trying to be right and stop trying to persuade each other.
We see the family member trying to do a reboot, apologizing, and proposing a new strategy, which involves active listening and encouraging the other person to step into your shoes. I really encourage people to learn how to control their own emotional reactions because they get triggered when talking with MAGA people. And especially now, the environment is perfect to be curious, be respectful, ask for a reboot, build rapport and trust, and just ask open-ended questions. How to start an argument with your MAGA family before dinner is even on the table.
Your hero, Trump, is a criminal and a pathological liar. How can you support him? Oh, please. Those charges are all political. It's a Democratic hoax. They're terrified of him. He's literally been indicted. He tried to overturn an election. That's authoritarianism. He's the only one standing between us and the swamp, the corrupt establishment. They crucified him because he's telling the truth. You're delusional. History is going to remember him as a wannabe dictator and you as one of his followers. If that's how you see me, I'm done.
How to remember and reflect that this is someone that you love.
Sam, I get that you have a lot invested in believing that Trump is a great leader and he'll make America great again. I'd like to make a constructive suggestion. I want to stop arguing. It's clear that I'll never be able to persuade you to change your mind, so I surrender. My therapist says I need to work harder on understanding you, so help me step into your shoes. Tell me what you admire most about Trump. He says it as it is. He's a fighter. He doesn't back down and he doesn't let the media and the elites bully him. So his toughness and willingness to push back against media and elites is a big thing for you. Can I ask a question? Has there ever been moments where you thought, okay, that was actually going too far? Well, sometimes his wording is rough, but that's just how he is. Yeah, he's definitely blunt. But think about our children, especially young Johnny. Would you like Johnny to grow up and be like Donald Trump? I need to think about that one. I'm not sure about that. Tell me more. I'll get back to you. I need to think some more about that. Thank you. I love you. Are there any questions you want me to think about? Yeah, how would you feel if I lost my job at the oil company and we didn't have the money to live on? That would be terrible. Is that one of your fears? Of course, not to mention all of my friends would reject me if I ever said anything negative about the president. Really? I've never heard you ever express worry about what your friends thought about you or your beliefs. Thank you for telling me that.
Most family members argue logically, attacking Trump, the person gets defensive and distances from you. Whereas the second is an effort to say, look, let's not fight. This is not about who's going to win. It's really about wanting to listen and understand each person's worldview. To listen, validate feelings, ask for more information, and empathize. Leave out trying to persuade. People will get themselves out. People in mind control cults all have doubts. So the idea is to get to the authentic self and it will surface. How to tell your MAGA family member that you hate who they've become and push them away further.
Chris, you're not yourself anymore. You used to care about facts and you're empathetic. Now you just rage about politics all day. I do care about facts and empathy. That's why I'm furious about what's happening. You're paranoid and angry all the time. You weren't like this before you got sucked into this movement. Maybe I finally woke up to how bad things are. You're the one still asleep. I miss the old you. Well, the old me was asleep. I wasn't seeing the truth. This is who I am now.
How to tell your MAGA member that you really miss them and love them.
Chris, I was looking through some old photos of you coaching the neighborhood soccer team. Do you remember how excited you were seeing those kids get better and better? Yeah, that was a good time. So what did you like most about coaching back then? I liked helping the shy kids come out of their shells, seeing them grow confident. You've always had that protective streak, making sure the vulnerable aren't stepped on. That's something I really admire about you. How does that part of you connect with your political involvement now? I see this movement as standing up for people who've been ignored or mocked. So that same protective part of you is engaged here too. So I'm curious, when you follow political news now, do you mainly feel that same sense of satisfaction you had helping those kids, or is it more feeling stress and anger? Honestly, mostly anger, but it's necessary. People need to wake up. It sounds exhausting to live in that level of anger. Do you ever miss the days where more of your energy went into concrete projects like coaching, where you could see the impact right in front of you? Sometimes, yeah. At least then I could see the kids actually getting better. If you imagined a version of your life where you still care deeply about justice and fairness, but also feel more grounded and less constantly enraged, what might that look like? What kind of things would you be doing with your time?
The family member makes the mistake of telling the person in MAGA what they're feeling and what they're thinking. It's called mind reading. It's not what is recommended. Ask questions, get the person back in time to who they were before they got recruited. Ask them about their feelings and the feelings the way they want to be. Are they doing things that are bringing out the best part of themselves? So what you're trying to do is get past the rhetoric and past the ideology to an emotional state of connection and meaning. How to tell your MAGA friend that you have no respect for them and blow up your friendship.
Jordan, this political obsession is destroying your life. You've lost friends, you're glued to social media filled with outrage videos, and you're always broke from donating. I'm sacrificing for something bigger than myself. You wouldn't understand. You're not sacrificing, you're being used. You're wasting your time, money, and energy. That's because you don't care what happens to this country. I do. I care about the country, but you're my friend and I care about you. I'm watching you spiraling down. Then stop judging me. I don't need this negativity.
How to tell your MAGA friend that you miss them and want them back in your life.
Jordan, we've been friends for a very long time. I wish we could go back and resume our close friendship. Politics have really gotten both of our ways. When you first got involved in MAGA, what did you hope would change in your life and in the country? I just couldn't get behind the corrupt Democrats and their socialist agenda. Trump really spoke to me. I felt like he got working people. I wanted him to drain the swamp. Politics suck. I want people to have a bigger voice. And I thought being involved would get my life more meaning. Feeling like your voice counts and your life has meaning. That's huge. It makes sense that you'd chase that. Now that it's been a few years, think back. Does your day-to-day life feel more meaningful than it did before you ever voted for Trump? Or about the same? I feel more informed, but I'm also more stressed. So more informed and more stressed. So if you look at your time, money, and energy like a budget, how much of that budget would you say is going into political stuff now compared to before? Most of it, honestly. Well, if the goal is more meaning and a stronger voice, do you feel like that investment is paying off? Not in slogans, but in how you actually feel when you wake up in the morning. Some days I feel fired up, but other days I'm totally drained. If you could keep all the parts that feel empowering, but dial down the parts that leave you drained and broke, what might that look like in practice? Fewer donations, less time online, focusing more on local volunteering where you can see the concrete results?
Here we see a friend trying to connect, but in a way that's counterproductive. It's really about empathy, to remind the person of who they were before, asking them to reflect on how they're feeling now, how their life is, a reference to what they wanted when they first got involved is a critical piece to helping people to realize, I don't want to keep doing this. It's time for a change. And a warm friendship that says, I want you back in my life is going to be an exit ramp that's face saving if the person feels like their friendship is still going to be there. How to lose your relationship with your MAGA kid in 25 seconds.
I can't keep watching you sink deeper into this political madness. Either you stop going to the Trump rallies and stop watching those conspiracy videos, or you can't live here anymore. So that's it? You're kicking me out because I care about the country? I'm not going to have this BS propaganda in my house. They told me my family might turn against me. They were right. At least the people in this movement actually stand by me. Well, maybe you should go live with them. Fine, don't worry. You'll never have to see me again.
How to repair and try again because you love your kid more than you hate MAGA.
So you don't want me to move out anymore? I love you unconditionally. So I need to keep focused on the love and not on the differences in our beliefs. I reacted from fear, not love, and I'm sorry. You were pretty clear that you couldn't watch me do this. I understand why that hurt. What I meant to say is I'm scared about how tense things have become between us, and I don't always know how to handle it. I'd like to try again, this time focusing on understanding you, even if we end up agreeing to disagree. Would you be open to that? Maybe, as long as it's not just lectures. I can commit to listening more than I talk. I may ask questions because I want to understand what you believe and why it matters to you. And if there are things I've done that made you feel disrespected, I'm willing to hear that too. Okay, yeah, we can try.
I never recommend ultimatums. They push the person deeper into the bubble of the cult ideology. But to say something extreme, like I want you to move out if you don't get rid of this, involvement, it's okay to say, I'm so sorry. I apologize. I'm worried. I have fear. I shouldn't have said it. I really don't want you to move out. I want to listen to you. I want you in my life. And we can agree to disagree. You're an adult. It's your life to live. Because what you don't want is the MAGA person proselytizing to you or judging you. You start modeling how not to judge them and create a space where you take turns listening to one another. This active listening is part of what's known as motivational interviewing. And I can tell you as an expert, this is what works because real love is unconditional and cult love is conditional on performance and belonging to the group. And in the end, I always say love is stronger than mind control.